Nature plays by the rules. Evolution is millions of years of selecting the best, the most efficient, the most logical. But sometimes, it just throws all of that out the window and does this. Today I'm going to show you animals that shouldn't exist. Animals that look like glitches in nature's code. And I'll tell you why each one of them is actually a genius mistake. But before we get started, just a second. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. To me, every subscriber isn't just a number. It's a real person saying, yes, this interests me. Keep it up. That really motivates me to do more and do better. The button below, one click, and you're in the loop. Deal? Then let's get started. Let's start with the scariest one. Meet the goblin shark, Mitsukurina ostoni. It lives over 3,000 feet below the surface, so most people have never seen one alive. And honestly, that's probably for the best. Look at that snout. Actually, that's not just a snout. That's a rostrum packed with electroreceptors that let it detect the electrical fields of prey in complete darkness. It literally sees with electricity. Not bad for something that looks like a nightmare, right? But the real showstopper is its jaw. When the goblin shark attacks, its jaw launches forward like a slingshot. I'm serious. It shoots out at over 10 feet per second. It's like if your mouth could fire itself at your dinner. Why? Because at that depth, every movement costs energy. Instead of chasing prey, the shark waits perfectly still and just snatches it in one lightning-fast strike. Nature basically invented a living mousetrap and dressed it in pink rubbery skin. And here's the kicker. The goblin shark is a living fossil. Its lineage goes back 125 million years. Dinosaurs came and went. This thing didn't budge. If the goblin shark is a glitch in deep-sea horror, the platypus is a glitch in the very concept of what a mammal is. When the first specimen was sent to England in 1799, scientists thought it was a fake. Literally. They looked for stitches. They thought someone had sewn a duck's bill onto a beaver's body. Nobody wanted to believe this thing was real. And here's why. The platypus is a mammal that lays eggs. A mammal that lays eggs. Those two things were supposed to be mutually exclusive. But wait, it gets weirder. Male platypuses have venomous spurs on their hind legs. So we're talking about a venomous egg-laying mammal with a duck bill. And that venom? It causes excruciating pain that doesn't respond to morphine. Yeah, morphine doesn't touch it. It hunts underwater using electroreception, sensing the electrical fields generated by the muscles of its prey. No eyes, no nose, no hearing underwater, just the bill and pure electricity. A superpower it actually shares with our last guest, the goblin shark. Oh, and one more thing. The platypus has 10 sex chromosomes. Humans have 2. It is genetically more complex than us when it comes to biological sex. Nature clearly didn't read its own rulebook. Okay, now something less terrifying. And more adorable? Meet the axolotl, a Mexican salamander that looked at the concept of growing up and said, hard pass. The axolotl is a permanent larva. In most amphibians, metamorphosis happens. A tadpole becomes a frog, a larva becomes a salamander. The axolotl just skips that step entirely. It stays in its juvenile form for its whole life, with external gills that look like tiny pink feather crowns on its head, and that iconic, permanently goofy smile. This is called neoteny, retaining juvenile features into adulthood. And you know what? It turned out to be a superpower. The axolotl can regrow almost any part of its body. A leg? Grows back. Part of its heart? Grows back. Part of its brain? You're not going to believe this. But yes, that grows back too. Scientists have been studying this mechanism for decades, and it could one day completely change regenerative medicine. But here's the heartbreaking part. In the wild, axolotls exist in exactly one place on Earth, Lake Xochimilco in Mexico City. And that habitat is now smaller than a few city blocks. Pollution, draining, invasive fish species. One of the most remarkable animals on the planet is on the edge of extinction. There are more axolotls in captivity than in the wild. And now, an animal that nature apparently built, using only the most overpowered features available. And then kept going. The mantis shrimp is one of the most aggressive and bizarre hunters in the ocean. Let's start with its eyes. Humans have 3 types of color receptors. Some birds have 4. The mantis shrimp has 16. It sees colors that we don't even have words for. Ultraviolet, infrared, polarized light. It perceives all of it. But its real claim to fame is the punch. The mantis shrimp strikes with its clubs at over 75 feet per second. That's faster than a .22 caliber bullet leaving the barrel. The strike is so powerful that the water around it literally boils from cavitation. Bubbles form and collapse at temperatures close to the surface of the sun. For a fraction of a second. Aquariums around the world know this well. Mantis shrimp break glass. Not crack. Break. Staff nicknamed them thumb splitters because they can snap a human finger bone if you pick one up without protection. The mantis shrimp has the best eyes of any creature on the planet. A punch that briefly creates miniature stars and looks like a neon toy from the 90s. If nature ever decided to show off, this is it. A goblin shark that fires its own face. A platypus that doesn't care about the rules. An axolotl that refused to grow up. A mantis shrimp with supervision and a weapon for a fist. Evolution doesn't read textbooks. It just tries things. And sometimes the result looks like an absolute joke. But every single one of these jokes has been surviving for millions of years. Maybe we're the ones who don't understand the rules of the game. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and tell me in the comments, which animal do you think looks the most impossible? And if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. There's a lot more weird stuff coming.